let's cut right to the chase. We both know you're here for lore on Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, and this week's video is about the different endings you can get and what they mean. So, obviously, spoiler warning. Hey there, I'm Rytoast, and if you like content like this, make sure to let me know with an actual like. And if you would be so kind, subscribing because it means a lot. I mean, look at my total subs, it's super impactful. So the actual plot of Security Breach is fairly straightforward, especially if you play the game. The player, a homeless orphan named Gregory, gets lost in the Pizzaplex after closing.
Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex is now closed. Initiating nighttime protocols.
No! Wait, I'm still here!
And needs to wait it out until morning. Fearful that the security guard Vanessa will find him and bring him to the authorities, he and Freddy, whose chest he can fit inside of, try to sneak him out. In doing so, they come to realize there's more than meets the eye of this place, discovering how aggressive the animatronics are to Gregory, a mysterious person named VANNY that Freddy can't see, and strange records detailing that power is being pulled under the Pizzaplex. Eventually, after destroying at least 2 of the other 3 animatronics to upgrade Freddy with their parts, 6 AM rolls around and you run to an exit, at which your options and the story begin to unfold. At any of these 3 exits, you are prompted with the choice, leave or stay. Leaving gets you one of 3 endings based on which exit you leave from. The worst ending in the game is given by leaving directly from the front exit. Gregory finds that Freddy can't leave and so runs away by himself back to the streets. But not long after, VANNY finds him. Leaving through the loading dock prompts Freddy to leave with Gregory using the van. And Freddy gets replaced by Monty in the band, and Mr. Hippo taking up the triangle. Leaving through the fire exit brings up a very confusing ending, so before we get into that, let's break down what the first 2 actually mean for the story. The first one shows that Freddy is programmed to believe that he can't leave the actual Pizzaplex, where the second one shows that he can if he tries. The first one also shows us that Gregory is homeless, probably an orphan. There are 9 missing children in total so far. Gregory could be considered one because this silhouette looks like him, but it's not confirmed. And VANNY will track him out if he does not go far enough. The second one just kind of shows us that Freddy can be charged by any source of electricity, Monty can replace him, and Mr. Hippo is apparently still around. It also shows us that Gregory, this 8-year-old who can't see over a counter, can drive a van. But this third ending kind of raises some alarms. Freddy lights the place ablaze, deciding to end the whole thing. When they go to leave, VANNY confronts them. Her and Freddy fall off the side, ending both of their lives. The confusing bit is the very end, where we see Vanessa looking down at them, sad. Up until now, we're led to believe that VANNY and Vanessa are one and the same. That's what I said in the characters video and the timeline. Are they separate people? No, I don't think so. I don't think that's what this ending is saying. I think what we see is when VANNY dies, so does Vanessa. but Vanessa's soul remains, having been filled with trauma and fear, looking sadly onto what became of her life. We get more confirmation of this when looking at the two endings I haven't mentioned yet. You only unlock these endings by finding and beating Princess Quest 1 and 2 arcade cabinets. If done so, when you approach an exit, a third option appears, VANNY. This leads to a sequence where Gregory and Freddy confront VANNY to try and stop her.
Disassemble Freddy.
Alright, take 3. Roxy's on the left, so run right. Learned.
There are two endings here. After running through all the animatronics, up the spiral staircase, and into the VANNY den, you're presented with a choice. On the way there, Freddy says,
"You hear me? I still have a signal. Get to the Phaser Blast booth. Use the security desk. Turn them against VANNY."
If you do as Freddy says, it works. Presumably violently killing VANNY. Freddy dies and Gregory runs off.
You are my superstar.
However, if you instead hop on the arcade cabinet Princess Quest 3, I guess you lock the door as you enter because she is like right behind you at this point, you can play through the game, unlocking the door Afton put on Vanessa's mind, and freeing her of his influence, and VANNY. Then her, Gregory, and Freddy's head leave peacefully. This is the good ending and my preferred one. Honestly, I want this to be the canon ending, but most people are calling something else the true ending. Because there is one more ending, a third option we haven't picked yet. If you choose stay. After this point, there's no way to save, so if you die at any point, you go all the way back to the entrance. And look, does it raise the stakes and make the ending hard to obtain? Yes. Is it fun or good game design? It would be, if the game was stable enough to not kill or soft lock the player through glitches. I went for this ending 4 times on stream. The first time I died really quickly, it was my fault. The second time I wanted to test a theory and I learned that Monty was still very active. The third one, I glitched into a wall somewhat early and had to restart. All of these minor inconveniences. The fourth one, I did the entire Monty side, did Mazer size without the guaranteed method. I messed it up, so I just had to trial and error and actually learn how to do the Mazer size puzzle. It took me an hour. I beat the Monty boss fight on my first try. How does the game repay me? Well, I was playing it safe, so I walk all the way to parts and service inside Freddy, so I can play it safe. I go to the computer to upgrade Freddy. I go to exit Freddy by pressing E. But you see, I was too close to the computer. And I activated the computer instead while inside Freddy. This spawned Freddy inside the machine with Gregory in it, soft-locking the game in a black screen, and at that point, I looked up the ending on YouTube. Because there were no autosaves and no saves, and the game killed me in a room that you literally cannot die in otherwise unless you've already started the minigame. And no way in hell was I doing all that again when I already did the hard part. Listen, I don't mind bugs. I don't mind glitches. I think they're funny. I usually laugh them off. But if you, as a game, are going to demand perfection from your player, you need to present perfection to the player. Anyway, rant aside. To unlock this ending, you need to stay, get the other Freddy upgrade that you had not gotten so far, get to a secret underground area in Roxy Raceway. Use both abilities to activate a dilapidated elevator, and it takes you down to a very run-down old pizzeria. This pizzeria is in fact the Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria Simulator location, FNAF 6. Inside, we see what some people are calling the Blob, including the wiki. I like to call it the Fazbear Amalgamate because it sounds cooler. but it looks as though Molten Freddy has combined with every previous animatronic like we went over in the last video. Going further down, we encounter him, William Afton, having just been revived by Vanny in a rebuilt yet severely damaged and burned Spring Bonnie suit. An ensuing boss fight occurs, and at the end, grants us this cutscene. So what does this ending tell us? A lot, actually. It explains what Vanny is up to, and it tells us that Henry's grand scheme to end it all in FNAF 6 flat out didn't work. It seems literally everyone but Henry survived the fire, and formed into one huge, confused, angry mass only William and Michael stay separate out of. A lot of other people are calling this the true ending, but I don't see any reason to call this one the canon ending, besides a William cameo and a cool cutscene. I guess calling it the Afton ending could spoil the surprise, so I'll call it the basement ending from here on out, to not spoil it and to not assume it's canon. I choose to believe that the good Vanny ending is canon because I think a game with Vanessa, Gregory, and Freddy would be a really fun dynamic to go against this new burn trap, and I don't know, calling anything true in this game feels weird. So those are my explanations on the endings based on the evidence we have, popular theories others have made, and my opinion on what makes the most sense. Next week, we'll be diving into the unanswered questions still remaining about the game and any mismatched lore that really doesn't fit anywhere else. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it, and make sure to kill that like button and stuff it into an animatronic suit so it can haunt my dreams tonight. And as always, stay toasty.